Okay, 10.6, 10.7 review. Number one, I'm just going to go through each of these. So if you know what you're doing, just keep going, check your answers, and there'll be some of the ones near the back that are the completing the square ones. Maybe a quadratic equation one, so we need to make sure we're checking these as well. So if you get to one that you're stuck on, pay attention. Okay, so it's inside, so we take part times part, which is 15x, set it equal to the other part, two parts multiplied together. So 18 times 10, so 15x equals 180. So then you take your calculator and take 180 divided by 15, and you get 12. All right, number two. We're on the outside now, so you take the outside part times the whole length, that's x plus 9, and set that equal to the outside part of 15 times the whole part, 15. Distribute and solve. 9x plus 81 equals 225. Subtract your 81. So 225 minus 81 is 144. And then divide it by 9. And you get 16. 900 minus 324 is 576. And then divide by 18, and x equals 32. All right, everybody do number 4. Let's go ahead and get to those. It's inside, so it's part times part. That's 10x and 9 times 20. So 10x equals 180. Divide by 10, x equals 18. All right, now these are going to be a little bit different. Some of you have already figured that out, so let's go through these together. It's on the outside, so we take the outside part times the whole side. That's 21. The outside part, 7, times this whole thing, x plus 7. You can say 7 plus x. The addition, you can switch the order. We just always put our x's first. Okay, so 8 times 21 is 168. And that's 7x plus 49. All right, so we subtract 49. And that's 119. And divide by 7. And you get 17. So again, it's on the outside. So the outside part times the whole, x plus 15. The outside 7. Times the whole part, 18. So 7 times 18 is 126. And you get x squared plus 15x on the left. So it looks like a trinomial, so let's move the 126 over. X squared plus 15x minus 126 equals 0. So you can use a quadratic formula here and just bypass the factoring. We can try to factor just for an example here. 1 and 126. I'm trying to get 15 out of 126. So 2 and 63. 1 plus 2 is 3 plus 6 is 9. So I know 3 and 9 will go into it. So 3 goes into it 42 times. 4 will not go into it. The trick is 126. So you look at 26, the last 2 digits. 4 doesn't go into 26, so 4 won't go into 126. 5 doesn't go into it because it's not 0 or 5. 6 will go into it if 2 and 3 do. So that would be 21. And there's your 15. 21 minus 6 is 15. All right, and 21 times a negative 6 is negative 126. You have to check both of those. Remember, factoring is something you have to be good at. And I'm just going to keep repeating how to do these. X and x minus 6 and positive 21. When you add them, you get positive 15. When you multiply them, you get negative 126. So the answer is either 6 or negative 21. X represents a distance here, so it can't be negative 21. Number 7. Outside times the whole piece. X plus 11. Outside times the whole piece, 18. All right, x squared, 11x, 180. Okay, so I see an x squared, so let's make this a trinomial. Subtract the 180. And now factors of 180. 1 and 180. And I'm trying to get the factors of 180 to give me positive 11. So 1 and 180, that range is pretty far apart. So I know that's not going to work. I'm just trying to get you to use your brain to start working closer to the number you want. 2 and 90. 1 plus 8 is 9, so 3 will go into it 60 times. 4 goes into 80, so 4 goes into 180. Okay, so that would be 45 times. 5 goes into 180 because it has a 0 at the end. 5 goes into 18 3 times with the remainder of 3. 5 goes into 36 times. So 5 times 36 is 180. Getting closer. 2 and 3 both go into it, so 6 will go into it. 6 goes into 18 3 times, add the 0. 7 doesn't have a nice, neat pattern, so you just have to use your calculator. 180 divided by 7 doesn't work. 8, same thing. 180 divided by 8 is 22.5, so that doesn't work. We do know 9 goes into it because 1 plus 8 is 9. You just use your calculator as well. 9 times what? 20 is 180. And there's your 11 that you're looking for. Okay, so we're going to do x and x, 9 and 20. We need a positive 11, so it's plus 20 and minus 9. And when I multiply those, I get negative 180. So you do have to check both things. So the answer is either x is positive 9 or negative 20. And again, x represents a distance, so it can't be negative. All right, number 8. Outside, I'm going to write this 5 times the whole thing. 5 plus x minus 5. All right, equals the outside 4 times the whole thing. 4 plus x minus 2. Go ahead and try to finish that on your own. So let's see what we have on the inside here. The 5s cancel out, so this is just 5x. The 4 minus the 2 gives you an x plus 2. So we distribute that 4 to 4x plus 8. So now you subtract the 4x, and that just gives you x on the left and 8 on the right. All right. Cool. All right, let's go to the next one. Again, if you're on the outside, vertex is on the outside, take the outside piece times the whole piece, 9 plus 2x plus 3 equals the outside piece times the whole piece, 10 plus x plus 8. So simplify the parentheses first. That's 2x plus 12. And this is x plus 18. So we distribute 18x plus 108. And that's 10x plus 180. I'll subtract 10x. Get 8x. I'll subtract the 108 to the right. So 180 minus 108 is 72. Divide off the 8. And x equals 9. So far, so good. Everybody can do these types of problems. So let's look at number 10. Okay, so the outside, x minus 2. I know it says negative 2 plus x, but we like to put our x's first. Times the whole thing. The whole thing is negative 2 plus x. Okay? These are wacky. Okay, and then the outside piece, 8, times the whole piece, 14. All right? 8 times 14 is 80 and 32, 112. Somebody check me on that. On the left, we have x minus 2 and 2x minus 2. Was this the one you did? Number 10?
Yeah.
Okay. So, now distribute. Everybody distribute. And x times 2x is 2x squared. X times a minus 2 is minus 2x. Take the first one times the first one. You're distributing the first term into the second parentheses. And then, so you get 2x squared minus 2x. All right, so you take x times the 2x. That gives me 2x squared. That was the first thing we did. Let me erase the those lines right here. Okay, so we take x times 2x. That's the first thing you do. You get 2x squared. Then you take x times the minus 2. That gives you minus 2x. So that's done. You distribute the first part. Now you got to distribute the minus 2. Minus 2 times 2x is minus 4x. And minus 2 times minus 2 is plus 4. And so I'm done because everything's been distributed to everything else. And that equals 112. Two x squared, you can put these two together, that's minus 6x. Plus 4 equals 112. So this is going to be a trinomial, so we're going to subtract 112 to the left. 2x squared minus 6x minus 108 equals 0. And always, if there is something to factor out of all of your terms, you should do that before you try to factor like a normal trinomial, okay? So I can factor all of these by 2, okay? So I can take a 2 out of all of them, and that gives me x squared minus 3x minus 54. The up here where the 2 and the minus 2 and minus 4. When we did the distribution up here. So I get a minus, this x times this minus 2 gave me that minus 2x here. And then the minus 2 times the 2x gave me the minus 4x.
So you always distribute after that.
So this factors into x plus 6, x minus 9. Okay, now, what does this mean? What are my values of x that will make the whole thing go to 0? So the formal way of doing this is setting each parentheses equal to 0 and solving. That's the formal way of doing it until you just understand what's going on. So we subtract 6 and x equals negative 6. We add 9. So x could be negative 6 or 9. That would make that whole thing go to 0, wouldn't it? Okay, now, do both answers work? Well, if x is negative 6, can that distance be negative? Can distance in general be negative? No. Okay, so negative 6 really isn't the right answer. So 9 is the actual answer.
Why are you still?
Let's take a look at number 11. Let's see. So it's on the inside. So what do? You multiply the parts together. So we have x minus 6 times x minus 1. Make sure you use the same segment for your parts. That equals 6 times 6. The other two parts. All right, so distribute. All right, so now we're going to subtract 36 to the left to make a trinomial. X squared minus 7x minus 30 equals 0. All right. So again, that's a 1 in front, which is what we want. It's easier. The two x's go in the first positions. Now you come up with factors of 30 that give you 7. So 1 and 30, 2 and 15, 3 and 10, and next one would be 5 and 6. So 3 and 10 will give me 7. The question is, how do you get negative 7 if the 10 is negative and the 3 is positive? And if you multiply those together, you still get the negative 30. What? And then we solve. X is either negative 3 or positive 10. And again, it's not always the case, but if I plug negative 3 in there, I'm going to get a negative. So that's not going to work. So 10 is the answer. All right, use the information provided to write the equation of a circle. So again, the equation is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals the r squared. That's your equation that it's wanting. All right, the center's 3 and negative 11. So the first one I'll do with you, x minus 3. Remember, it's the opposite numbers. Y plus 11. And then we got to square the square root. The radius is the square root of 19, so we need the radius squared. So what do you get when you do that? Yeah, 19. And that would be your answer. All right, so everybody do number 13, 14, 15, and 16, and I'll go through those with you. So again, same type of thing. Change your signs. X plus 14 squared plus y minus 9 squared equals, you square the radius, you get 9. I want to make sure you understand you have got to have the plus sign in the middle. You have to have the squares. Everything has to be right for you to get credit for this type of problem. You leave anything off, you do not get credit for it. All right, number 14. It's okay if you write it as x minus 0 squared, but it really should just be x squared. Plus y plus 10 squared equals 65. Who got that one right? All right, so you guys are good with these. All right, let's keep going. X minus 5 squared plus y minus 7 squared equals 25. And the last one, x minus 12 squared plus y minus 4 squared equals 9. All right. All right, so now you have to tell me the center, the radius, and you have to sketch it. So I'll do this one with you. The center is at the opposite numbers, negative 3, and my radius should be the square root of 5. All right, so we're going to sketch that. So you put your center at negative 3, 1, 2, 3, and down 3, 1, 2, 3. There's my center. The square root of 5 is between 2 and 3. If you want to use your calculator, you can take the square root of 5. It's 2.2. So we're going to go over 1 to just a little bit over 2, up 2 and a little bit past that. Left 2, 1, 2. And down 2 and a little bit past that. And that's how we would graph our circle. Okay, number 18. The center is at -4, 0. The radius is 1. Let's graph it. -4, 0 is right here. Make sure you're graphing in the right spot. Your radius is 1, so left and right 1, and up and down 1. So a really tiny circle. All right, number 19. Okay, number 19. The center is 2, -3. The radius should be the square root of 7. So, take the square root of 7, that's 2.6. All right, so 2, -3. That's my center. And to the left, to the right, up and down, 2.6. So basically 2.5 blocks. 1, 2, there's 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So just counting 2.5 blocks away from the center. And then connect the dots. There's your graph. Please be as accurate as you can when you're graphing these. Number 20. What's the center? Good job. -4, -3. What's your radius? The square root of 8 is 2.8, so getting close to 3. Go over to -4 and down 3. Now count 3 blocks over and put your dots just shy of those. 1, 2, 3. Up, 1, 2, 3. And left, 1, 2, 3. And down, 1, 2, 3. And then connect them. Okay, number 21. Center is -4, -1. Oops. The radius is 2. -4, -1 is right there. Count 2 blocks, left, right, up and down. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2. Number 22. Completing the square. Everybody's supposed to be able to do this. So I'm going to put everything together on one side. So I'm going to move the -11x squared. I'm going to leave the number by itself on the right side. So if you have the number by itself on the left, then move it over to the right. That's how you start this problem. So it should look like this when you write it out. X squared plus 8x, leave a spot, plus y squared minus 4y, leave a spot, and that equals whatever numbers there are should be on the other side. And so now we're going to introduce the b over 2 squared to both of these. And then you got to add that to both sides. So b is 8 in the first trinomial. So 8 divided by 2 is 4. So we're going to leave it as b over 2 squared, because what's in parentheses is what goes in your factored form, the b over 2. In the second one, b is 4. Doesn't matter about the negative because you're going to square it away. So 4 over 2 is 2. So we have -11 plus 16 plus 4. Because 4 squared is 16 and 2 squared is 4. That's what you're adding to the left. So you got to add that to the right as well. So I have the first letter, the first operation, and b over 2 goes in that position. And then you put it in your circle equation form. Make sure it's a squared parentheses. And the same thing here. The first letter the first operation, and b over 2. And then negative 11 plus 16 is 5. 5 plus 4 is 9. There's your equation. The center is negative 4, 2. The radius is 3. So we graph it. And count 3 left, right, up, and down. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, so I like to have all my squared terms positive. So I'm going to move all these values to the other side by adding their opposites, okay? So I will get x squared plus 4x. I'll leave a space to complete the square. And then I have plus y squared, and then a minus 2y. And I'll leave a space. And that equals 0, because there aren't any numbers by themselves. All right, so from there, you guys complete the square and see if you can tell me the center and the radius. Okay, complete the square. X squared plus 4x. 4 is b, so 4 over 2 is 2. We're adding 4, so we need to add 4 to the right. Y squared minus 2y. B is 2 in this trinomial, so 2 over 2 is 1. 1 squared is 1. We're adding that to both sides. First letter, first operation, and b over 2. First letter, first operation, and b over 2. 0 plus 4 plus 1 is 5. So our center is at negative 2, 1, and our radius is the square root of 5. 2.2. So just over 2 blocks. So graph at negative 2, 1, and put your dots just over 2 blocks away. And then connect them. All right, number 24. Same thing. Give you a chance. Go ahead and move everything to the correct side. And your numbers to one side. Complete the square. Find the center, radius, and graph. All right, I'm going to go ahead and start. I'm going to move the y squared over. Okay, so we have x squared plus 6x plus y squared plus 6y equals a negative 2. So b is 6. 6 over 2 is 3. So we have negative 2 plus 9 now on the right side. Y squared plus 6y. Again, b is 6. 6 over 2 is 3. So we're going to add 9 again to both sides. First letter, first operation, and b over 2. First letter, first operation, and b over 2. Negative 2 plus 9 is 7. 7 plus 9 is 16. Center's at negative 3, negative 3. And the radius is 4. Okay. I'm not looking at the answers, so I'm not sure if I've made a mistake. So hopefully these are right. Oops, I'm sorry. Radius is 4. So 4 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. So a bigger circle. 25. I'll give you a minute. The whole purpose when you have extra stuff is you got to get your X's and Y's on one side and your numbers on the other. That's just so you can get it in the correct positions. Okay? So I'm going to put the negative x squared on the left just so it's positive. So real quickly, I have x squared. There are no other x's to put with it. I have plus y squared plus 8y. I have a plus 7. So again, the x's and y's should be on one side, and then the number should be on the other side. So I have x squared. I don't have a b term, so I don't need to complete the square with that. It's already done. So this is going to end up being like the x minus 0 part of your circle formula. Okay? But the y squared does have a b term. So I'll need to leave a space for that and put the 7 on the other side as a negative 7. So letters on one side, numbers on the other. Now I complete the square. Half of 8 is 4. We square it, which is 16. We add that to both sides. Okay, so again, x squared plus first letter, first operation, and b over 2. Negative 7 plus 16 is 9. My center is at 0, negative 4. My radius is the square root of 9. 0, negative 4. 3 blocks to the right and to the left, and up and down.
Please excuse the interruption.
Good job.